thinking this is 4-down territory and a chance to shut the door.
Gamecocks looking to the sideline with the play clock winding down, and they'll use a timeout. We'll take 1-2. 3rd and 5, South Carolina.
Not again.
For the gifts you won't forget, the Mercedes-Benz Winter Event.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It is all about T-Mobile with their great phone deals for everyone every day, including customers on Sprint. Tell us more, Diane.
New and existing customers on the Magenta Max plan can trade up to the new iPhone 13 Pro, and T-Mobile will pay for it. Customers can also get a free year of Apple TV Plus. I know you love Ted Lasso, George.
Guilty as charged. T-Mobile is bringing it all together for the holidays.
Upgrade to the iPhone 13 Pro on us. Plus, get a free year of Apple TV Plus, only at T-Mobile.
Surprise frees are coming! Domino's has surprise freeze!
Other delivery apps add surprise fees, but Domino's is adding up to $50 million in surprise frees to online delivery orders. And we tried some unique ways to tell people they're getting free food.
From Domino's!
Icy hot. Ice works fast. Heat makes it last. Feel the power of contrast therapy, so you can rise from pain. Icy hot.
Don't be shy now. I like that prime cut. I love my gold jacket, but that Aflac blue feels so right.
When you feel right, you coach right.
I know that's right. Prime never believed in double coverage, but health insurance and Aflac is money.
Must be money.
And I know how Coach Prime feels about money.
Now that is what this jacket needs.
Must be money.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Aflac is an official sponsor of ESPN College Game Day.
If you want a great team, you need natural-born leaders, some tough cookies, and a few who do anything to win. Find a group like that, you've got one hell of a team.
College football semis tomorrow. This, though, the highest stakes bowl game outside of the college football playoff. Winning coach gets 4.5 gallons of mayonnaise dumped on him. 3rd and 5. Joyner on the keeper. Muse setting the edge. And a first down. Nick Muse, the tight end, with a critical block.
Marcus Satterfield, their offensive coordinator, said that guy's going to play 10 years in the NFL. He's going to be a great special teamer because he is detail-oriented and physical. He's the lead blocker the whole way for the quarterback. And flatbacks him on the perimeter, matched up against Storm Duck, and shows him what the turf feels like.
1st and goal, South Carolina. Muse will play in the East-West Shrine game. Brother Tanner, a safety at Clemson, was a 3rd-round pick last year. Kevin Harris on the cutback. Not much.
Again, for South Carolina, they're able to keep the personnel relatively consistent. See Xavier Legette back on the field now. But you got big bodies, and they are letting the entirety of that play clock wind down, Anish.
They had a 5-minute and a 6-minute drive in the 3rd quarter. This drive has gone on for 5+ minutes. Harris hammerheads inside the 5, 3rd and goal. Mike, I know a field goal puts you up 14, but if you don't get it here, let's say you pick up another yard or two. Do you go for it on fourth, saying, hey, that's a chance to win the game?
I think so, and especially if you get it down to 1 or 2 yards, Anish, because then if you don't make it, North Carolina's starting with the football inside their own 2-yard line. That's a low probability drive starter for you to get points out of in almost any locker room.
Well, look at you going analytics. Be careful now.
We call them nanalytics. Will it make you feel better? Good Lord. It's probability, people.
Play action. Nolan floats it back in the end zone. Incomplete. I'm a fan of analytics. It makes teams go for it more on fourth down. That's fun. That's fun football.
It's my struggle with people as we see the kicking unit come out right now, and that makes sense. You didn't make up any yardage there. You wanted to take your one shot. But to your point, Anish, I never thought I'd have to explain to football people that more aggressive football is fun. Novel concept.
A 22-yarder for the reliable Parker White. And the chip shot is good. A 14-point lead for South Carolina. 7:44 away from a mayonnaise bath.
Dukes has twang. Does your Mayo have it? Do you ask for it by name when you go out to eat? Do you display your devotion to it for all the world to see? Can it elevate your lime cilantro aioli to a level that's borderline holy? If not, you're probably using the wrong Mayo. That's because only Duke's Mayo has twang. It's that little southern something that elevates food from good to downright ridiculous. Get Duke's. It's got twang.
Welcome to Allstate, where we have all new lower auto rates. And savings like that will make everyone feel like an MVP. Now get new lower auto rates with Allstate. Because better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click or call for a lower auto rate today.
The Nobel laureates, poet laureates, and baccalaureates. The earth movers, fire starters, and water walkers. Glass blowers and glass ceiling breakers. Dawn busters and third shifters. Old schoolers, new toolers, lifesavers, and world beaters. All rising, all thriving, all in North Carolina.
I gotta know who oven baked my bacon. Who did it? Tyler. Come on over here, man.
Oh, wow. Ow. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
When you power your immune system with Mega Food supplements, everyday moments are revealed in a new light. Because when you feel healthy, your world is more vibrant than ever. It's why we craft our high-quality immune supplements by pairing vitamins and minerals with real food and herbs. Power your immune system and illuminate your health with C Defense gummies, zinc tablets, and more from Mega Food.
Ready. There's something special about you, son.
You put the ball in my hands, and we will win.
What a show!
American Underdog, rated PG.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl is brought to you by Duke's Mayonnaise, the only mayo with twang.
Frosted Flakes, Cheez-Its, French fries, slime. Every saga has a beginning when the bards and the poets sing about this game and what's going to happen in the aftermath. That's the context. That's the history. That's what got us here.
You look at non-traditional baths after the game and say, why? I dream of foods that we could dump out of those buckets and say, why not?
If you are a food company, start getting on some bowl sponsorships, huh?
I'm saying. The Dukes people understand. They understood the assignment coming into this. They're ready to get that winning letter grade.
They got some extra credit, too. Tomorrow, college football semifinals. All sorts of ways to watch the main telecast on ESPN. You want Georgia hometown radio, got the SEC network, same for Alabama. We have the All-22 Command Center, Skycast, hometown radio for every team. So many ways to do this.
The Skycast going to have a little bit of added flavor to it this year.
Yeah, I'll be on there with Kelly Stauffer tomorrow in Bristol.
One of the best ways to watch a game for my money. You get that high look over both lines of scrimmage. Great football.
Carolina, North Carolina, down 2 scores. There's Ty Chandler. Got about 4. He has been held in check today. 8 carries, 24 yards. Came into the game as the 3rd leading rusher in the ACC. Third and 1.
Down 14, 7 and change left. It doesn't have to be full 2 minutes, but it's got to be a sense of urgency in between plays right now. As you see Sam Howell going no huddle, getting them lined up.
Chandler out, British Brooks in. Brooks bullies his way for the first down. First 3rd down conversion of the game for UNC, and it comes with less than 7 minutes in regulation. And how about British Brooks? The last 3 games versus the first 39 of his career.
Been remarkable. He's shown up as a pass protector for them. Really a guy who built himself up on special teams and now contributing to this offense.
Big role for him next year. Howell taken down by Damani Staley. Deuce Staley's son. And Damani stepped in big time this year when Sherrod Green, South Carolina's top linebacker, suffered a season-ending injury. He's been a stalwart in the middle of that defense.
Got matched up with the guard, number 73, Marcus McKeithen. Doesn't say a whole lot. Lets the action speak. 2nd and long for North Carolina.
4 sacks by South Carolina. Howell's pass tipped. Incomplete, wanted downs. And it's 3rd and long.
And I love what South Carolina's done on defense, Anish. 6 minutes left, you're up 2 scores. The tendency for some is to sit back. They're saying, let's get bodies up at the line of scrimmage and win this game rather than try and not lose it.
South Carolina showing pressure. Roderick, the safety, in the box. So is Foster. Howell's pass incomplete. Tried to thread the needle. And it's 4th down. A look to the sideline. Got a punt here, don't you?
Just too far away here to think about it. You've still got 6 minutes left, 2 timeouts. You're going to rely on your defense to have to basically force a 3 and out at this point. I don't know. With the way South Carolina's been running the football,
you may not get the ball back.
That'd be my worry here.
Van with the fair catch at the 23. 5:52 to go in regulation.
We've been waiting all year to come together. Happy holidays from Lexus.
Get $1,500 lease cash toward a 2022 RX 350.
Make fitness routine with Pure Protein. High protein, low sugar. Tastes great.
High protein, low sugar. So good.
High protein, low sugar. Birthday cake.
Pure Protein. Find our coupons in Sunday's paper.
My whole life is on this phone, so they're here to protect it at all costs.
How about at no cost? With AT&T Active Armor, you get 24/7 network security at no extra charge, because your security is our priority.
Great, I'll take it.
J75 in progress.
Is J75 code for nice, helpful lady?
No.
It's not complicated. AT&T 5G is fast, reliable, and secure with 24/7 proactive network security by AT&T Active Armor.
Introducing the Grubhub Guarantee. Our promise to deliver the food you love on time and give you the lowest price. Or you'll get $5 off your next order.
5 breadsticks for my triple treat. 3 layers deep, 10 Cinnabon mini rolls to eat. And the pizza plus another pizza. The triple treat box, only from Pizza Hut.
How about this bowl lineup for New Year's Day? Number 9, Oklahoma State taking on Golick Jr.'s alma mater, Notre Dame. Utah and Ohio State in the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, presented by Capital One Venture X. And then we cap the day with Baylor and Ole Miss, a chance to see Matt Corral. We saw him early in the season, the Rebels quarterback, the best in the country by our estimation. Kevin Harris. He is dragging Tar Heels across the 45. A tour de force to close the season for the junior out of Georgia.
Counter action, hitting it up inside. And Kevin Harris has been dynamic for them. We wondered about his health. Don't wonder anymore.
166 on the ground on 25 carries. 520 yards of total offense for South Carolina. 278 on the ground, 6 shy of their season high in rushing, which was 284 in the Florida win. Joyner back to Harris. Down to Taylor.
We've seen South Carolina be quarterback by committee today, and Luke Doty, although he's never stepped foot on the field, has been a huge part of what they're doing. He's wearing a headset, communicating to everybody on the sideline, defense, offense, O-line, wide receivers. He'll talk to coaches, and then he'll go talk to guys individually. It's what you want to see out of your quarterback. Unfortunately, not being able to play today because of that left foot injury, but still a huge part of this team.
Yeah, he suffered that injury before the season started. It limited his ability to run, re-injured it in the Vandy game, needed surgery, and that knocked him out for the year. And it's been a revolving door at quarterback for South Carolina. And, Mike, we're in an age where it's so hard to have quarterback depth because if you have a good number 1 and you've got quality depth behind them, they don't stick around long. They want to go where they can play. As we get a timeout, South Carolina is going to have some pretty strong QB depth going into next year.
Subaru and our retailers believe in giving back. That's why, in difficult times, we provided 150 million meals to Feeding America. And now, through the Subaru Share the Love event, we're helping even more. By the end of this year, Subaru will have donated over $225 million to charity. This is what it means to be more than a car company. This is what it means to be Subaru.
On the season finale of Fansville by Dr. Pepper.
Another season almost in the books.
Yep, it's gonna be a long off season.
Off season?
What do we do in the off season?
Off season?
Relax. We don't stop existing when the season ends.
Yeah, it's not like we live in some fictional town that's part of some elaborate marketing campaign.
What would it even be for? Dr. Pepper?
We're real people. It's not like we're the ice cold Dr. Pepper guy.
Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
Look. This is the move right here. Boom. Boom.
That was solid. Now it's my turn. My bag of chips for your crunch wrap.
Do I have any say in this?
You're the chip guy. Thought you want me to share.
I think we have different definitions of sharing.
Maybe. Maybe not.
I eat my chips too.
Next time you can divvy it up.
Wow, so generous.
All right, here we go. Miller in motion. Wait, is that a baby on the field?
It looks like it, Craig.
And the defensive linemen are playing peekaboo. I've never seen anything like that before.
Harris now appears to be burping the baby.
That's a great moment right there.
Ref going to the rule book here.
Well, wait a minute. Harris is off to the races.
We don't need any more trick plays.
Touchdown!
But we could all use more ways to save.
Are you kidding me?
It's going to be a long bus ride home for the defense.
Switch to Geico for more ways to save.
Behold, the transformation ray. Awesome! Big changes are coming to Hotel Transylvania.
I'm a monster, and you're human? I have a total dad bod.
On January 14th,
If we don't fix you guys soon, you'll be like this forever.
they're on an adventure
Whatever.
to turn the pack back.
Floppy?
Hotel Transylvania. Transformania. Rated PG. Exclusively on Prime Video.
Pay close attention to this. After the game, you got to switch to the ESPN app for the Capital One post game. The reason you've got to switch to the app, we've got another game following us. So we've told you all game, there's going to be a post game mayonnaise bath for the winning coach. Right now that looks to be Shane Beamer. You've got to get to the ESPN app for that. More details after this play. Joyner rolls to his right. He's got a first down inside the 40. Taylor, you're going to be emceeing everything post-game. Tell our viewers how this is going to work.
It's going to be epic, for one. So we're going to do the trophy ceremony, and then immediately following that, I'm going to escort the winning coach to a location just off of the field. There is a seat that he will sit in. He'll be doused with the mayonnaise, and we're going to get it all captured on ESPN Plus. So make sure you tune in, and hopefully I'll grab an interview with the winner as well.
Pre or post mayonnaise
ESPN app. Join us there.
And Taylor will be sending that dry cleaning bill to Bristol, Connecticut.
Or to you, Anish. I don't know.
What did I do to Carrion Joyner? Here's Kevin Harris. See Taylor at halftime, though, getting into the proper mayonnaise gear.
She did. She understood. All right. We were expecting some showers today. Thankfully, they held off. The one shower we all wanted. The one coated in rich, thick mayonnaise.
Hey, listen, we're in uptown Charlotte. We're not far from a lot of really nice boutiques in South End. Got the South Park Mall up the road.
Excuse to expense a new outfit, maybe.
I'm just saying.
I'm just talking
those
out loud.
opportunities are there.
Put the expense report through, guys. Do the right thing.
Harris, what a game he's had. A marvelous redemption story in this bowl game. Flag at the 41.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. First down.
What do you think is going through Shane Beamer's mind right now?
Oh my God, I'm going to be covered in mayonnaise. It's starting to sink in. You can see that moment. Again, $10,000 going to the charity of their choice for the winning coach. And now's the point in the game. You get a lot of time to process those complex thoughts.
Juju McDowell caroms off one defender and then brought down in the backfield. Today's Capital One player of the game, DK Joyner. 9 for 10, 160 yards passing with a touchdown, 64 more on the ground. It took a creative play plan out of the gates for South Carolina. They didn't have really their quarterback down the stretch, Jason Brown, who had hit the portal. Zaquandre White, their top rusher this year, had opted out of the game. And DK Joyner ran some wildcat early. They threw the ball with him, hit some deep plays to Jaheim Bell. He's been a difference maker. So is Kevin Harris.
Set the tone right from the start. Both of them led a South Carolina offense that we've seen go hot and cold all year. Scorching today.
And Joyner looking to the sideline. Play clock at 0. South Carolina calls a timeout.
South Carolina calls their second timeout of the half. 30 seconds remaining.
And you hear that South Carolina faithful that made the trip up here. Great turnout in Charlotte for this game. Starting to get excited about what they know is coming.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Come on, donuts?
I'm my father's son, baby. Love you, Dad. There's only one way we could finish this.
I don't know. I don't know. This is asking for a lot.
I know.
Oh, boy. That's what I get working with you all season. My culinary palate certainly has...
I'm finishing the donut.
Devolved.
All the above. All the above.
Oreo cookie. Aftertaste was okay.
Taylor, how are you feeling?
PB&J, yes. Donut, I'm a no. Taylor?
I'm a yes. I mean, I wouldn't choose it, but it's not terrible.
That's what I'm saying. They've all been a pleasant surprise today. And there was no reversal of fortune, which means we all get to walk out of here with our heads held high.
Oh, good. We're off camera. 3rd down.
Let the record show. I finished the donut.
Yeah, you did.
Mama didn't raise a quitter. Love you, Mom.
Now, for those of us who have traveled with Mike Golick Jr. all season long, I mean, you've had some interesting ones. We were down in Mississippi, and your food of choice there was chicken on a stick, but specifically chicken on a stick from a gas station.
We've had gas station fried chicken. We've had barbecue down in Tennessee. We've been in New Orleans, had a cinnamon roll the size of my head. I'm a bloodhound sniffing out carbs.
Kevin Harris. And it's 4th down. A timeout, 54 seconds to go. 182 rushing yards for Harris. A couple of coaches who've got an awful lot of respect for each other and their families. Shane Beamer's dad, Frank, longtime Virginia Tech coach. Frank coached against Mac Brown back in 1987. Mac was at Tulane. Frank Beamer at Virginia Tech. The families got to know each other. When Frank and Mac got to go on Nike trips, the wives got to know each other. Mac got to see Shane grow up, and when Shane Beamer was hired at South Carolina, one of the first calls to his parents came from Mac Brown.
Mac Brown said, I'd watch Shane grow up on the Beamer family Christmas card that we got each and every year. But you can see both of these coaches so proud of this family association, the affiliation, and such deep respect.
3rd field goal attempt for Parker White, and if he makes this, he'll tie Colin Mackey's school record for made field goals. White's kick is good. A couple of records set by Parker White today. Set the school record for career points, breaking Elliott Fry's record. He set the school record for field goals attempted and tied now the school record for field goals made.
There's all these conversations, Anish, about bowl games and meaning. But for South Carolina, a great opportunity to springboard into next year, like we said, where they're excited about Spencer Rattler. But what you just talked about there with Parker White and so many of these players out in the field today, there was a great finish to this 2021 season that they wanted to make sure they put the proper stamp on.
Now there is energy. The sandstorm is swirling in Columbia. You've got Spencer Rattler, as you said, and Austin Stogner coming in if Josh Vann comes back. Jaheim Bell looks like this could be a sign of a breakout 2022. You get a healthy Kevin Harris if he comes back. All of a sudden, South Carolina might be able to make a little noise next year in that SEC East. A touchback for North Carolina. Let's see if Sam Howell comes out for one last drive. He has not announced whether he will turn pro. Did not want to be a distraction before the bowl game. We talked early on about why he's playing. It meant something to him. Last year in the Orange Bowl, a number of key players for UNC opted out. Howell will remain on the sideline. He's going to get a lot of hugs. Drake May, who will compete for that starting quarterback job next year, along with Jacoby Criswell, on the field for this final UNC drive. One of the first families of Chapel Hill has passed to Brooks, has dropped. Dad Mark played football at UNC. Everyone knows brother Luke, a legend for what he did on the hard court, winning a championship for Roy Williams. Had another brother, Cole, who played baseball at Florida. Shane Beamer, a lot of smiles on that South Carolina sideline, going to 7-6. And hey, for Sam Howell, his first career game in this stadium against South Carolina. His last career game potentially in this stadium against South Carolina. And who knows, as we get some flags flying, the team that plays in this building on Sundays, the Panthers, they are in the market this offseason for a quarterback. Now, they don't have a second or third round pick and maybe would have to do some maneuvering with that first round pick. But a lot of people in the Charlotte area would be pretty happy if Sam Howell was drafted by the Panthers.
You saw on display all season, and even the decision to come back today, I think the hallmark for him.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense, number 5. That's his first. 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. It's third down.
You don't want to see that at the end of the game. J.J. Jones, the freshman.
Emotions running high there, but just to put a bow on that for Sam Howell, what you're going to get as an NFL team, incredible competitive toughness, right? Going in, not feeling 100% to the North Carolina State game, what he's done coming back to this bowl game. You saw it in the way he approached his role on the team this year. I think that's going to impress a lot of NFL teams as they get to look at him in the pre-draft process.
Capital One post-game on the ESPN app. That's where you can see the Mayo dump on Shane Beamer. 4.5 gallons of twangy Duke's mayonnaise about to be poured on Shane Beamer. He was telling us, hey, my kids like to hug me. So it's actually a good thing this will be staged in the tunnel and not on the field, so his kids can give Dad a hug after the game. That's just the first bath today. That's just Gatorade. That was the opening act. Drake May takes off and slides down. They mark him down where he began the slide, so at the 34, a yard shy, 4th down, and that's going to do it. South Carolina puts a capper on its season with a win in the Duke's Mayo Bowl. They're 7-6. Shane Beamer, first year as a head coach, ends with a bowl victory and an upcoming mayonnaise bath.
Infectious energy as we see him and a guy he considers a mentor in Matt Brown in the center of this field. Anish, the energy he's injected in this program from day one. Players talk about seeing him there early in the morning, working out, coming in, setting that tone for the team.
Taylor McGregor with Shane Beamer.
Thanks, Anish. Coach, you just got to hug your family. What's going through your mind?
Just, this is so awesome. I'm so happy for our fans. What a day to beat a great team like North Carolina. Honestly, I'm thinking, oh my God, I got to go do this Mayo bath now, to be honest with you. But man, just so proud of our players, the way they worked all month. And then to come out here, we're so shorthanded at defensive back. We're missing so many DBs today, missing people on offense, but just like our guys have done all year, they didn't flinch, just came out here and battled, and so happy for them. They deserve this, to have not been in a bowl game since 2018 and to come out here and play like we did today against a great team. It's pretty awesome.
You took a 2-win team to 7 wins and a bowl victory. How?
Great kids, great support from the administration, and just it's amazing what just a little bit of confidence and a little bit of joy will do, and that's what we did. We tried to build their confidence up. We talk about love all the time in this program, and I love every single one of these kids. I mean, we had a team meeting last night, and it was one of the most emotional team meetings I've ever been a part of. Just guys talking about what they mean to each other and things like that. And these super seniors, to come back this year when they didn't have to, and then to lead us to a win here in Charlotte over North Carolina. It doesn't get any better than that.
Your players talking about what they mean to each other. What does a Mayo bath and $10,000 to charity mean to you?
It means we won, but that's about the only good thing about it, to be honest with you. I got the Gatorade. They got my son with the Gatorade, and now I got to go do the Mayo bath. So it kind of like warmed me up for the Mayo bath, I guess.
We can't wait, Coach. Thanks for your time. Manish, back to you.
It's not the same. It's not the same. And when you mix Gatorade with mayonnaise, Lord only knows what that will turn out to be. Go to the ESPN app. We'll have the post-game trophy presentation and the Mayo bath on the app. This was a lot of fun. They did a great job with this bowl. You're happy for Shane Beamer. North Carolina, a lot to look forward to as they continue to build this under Mac Brown as well.
South Carolina, though, established a physical tone from the outset of this game here. The job they did up front, the quarterback rotation, such an impressive first bowl showing from Shane Beamer.
Are we going to run downstairs to watch the Mayo bath?
I'm already sprinting.
Turn to the app to see the Mayo bath. But for now, we get you down to Miami with Kevin Negandhi.
Manish, Gojo, thank you so much. We've got a game, 22 minutes. How about the TransPerfect Music City Bowl featuring Aiden O'Connell, fifth-year senior with Purdue. Announced he is coming back for a sixth year to lead the Boilermakers, 23 touchdowns, over 3,000 yards, leading Purdue to an 8-4 record. They take on Tennessee just over 20 minutes away here on ESPN. Manish mentioning us being in beautiful South Florida. There's South Beach with the sand and picture-perfect afternoon. Hard Rock Stadium, of course, the site of the Capital One Orange Bowl, set for tomorrow night on ESPN between Michigan and Georgia. Of course, the first game, a Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic featuring Alabama and Cincinnati. We will take a closer look at Bama in a moment in that defense. Kevin Negandhi alongside Joey Galloway and Booger McFarland. All the hype about the Mayo. Just want to let the audience know that you can go to the app, of course, but we will have video of that coming here in this setup of the pregame leading into the Music City Bowl. So don't go away. We'll see Shane Beamer and 4.5 gallons of Mayo dumped all over him. But the most important thing is South Carolina and what they did and the turnaround in this season. 7 wins here. Double-digit underdog to win outright. Phenomenal performance. They gained over 540 yards.
You know, and I think about when you watch these coaches after these bowl games, and we talk about, do they matter? Are these games important to these teams? You could watch Shane Beamer. You could watch Dabo Swinney last night. It's important to these guys. It matters. South Carolina came out and played like it mattered. It played like getting to that 7 wins was important to their season. What they did in this game, they had 240 more yards than North Carolina. Defense played well, and they ran the ball for 300 yards. That is setting this team up to start looking forward to next season. They go into the winter, they go into the spring, and then the summer. But this is the momentum that gets this team going.
You know, and think about this. We have to give Shane Beamer his props. Because he's playing a grad transfer, at quarterback.
And a wide receiver.
And a former wide receiver at quarterback, and he didn't make any excuses. They just went out, they worked hard, they lined up, and they got their 7th win. And to go from 2 wins to 7 wins with all the drama that they had this year, with all the lack of execution at times, for them to achieve that, to me, is an outstanding feat. And you have to give Shane Beamer and his staff a lot of credit for that.
And leading the offense is Kevin Harris, 184 yards on the ground and 31 carries. On the other side here, disappointing finish here for Sam Howell, if this is his last game as a Tar Heel. With all the expectations leading into the season here, Mac Brown has some questions, some big questions he has to answer in the offseason.
Well, I think it's a disappointing season for the entire program because of the expectations. They were ranked so high. There was so much promise. You have a 5-star quarterback in Sam Howell, and you're thinking, okay, the sky's the limit. The defense disappointed. The offense was up and down and inconsistent. I think if you're Mac Brown, when you give up 500 yards to non-traditional quarterbacks in a sense, you're going to have to go back and re-examine what you do defensively. They'll be able to score points offensively, the way Mac Brown recruits, but defensively, the scheme, the philosophy. I know Mac's a really, really good coach, and he's going to have to answer those questions.
Not so sure they'll be able to score points. I think that's what we thought of this North Carolina team coming in. They were a top 10 team.
Yes.
We had Sam Howell coming back, leading an offense that was going to score a lot of points. Defense has been questionable in the past few years, and so we thought they can win a lot of games because they'll score 60 points a game. They didn't do that this season. So now you go back to the drawing board, and you don't. Where do you hang your hat? Like, what do you lean on? You don't know if your quarterback's coming back in Sam Howell or not. He hadn't made that decision. but people assume that he's going to go to the NFL, especially with this season being the way it was, didn't turn out the way people thought it would. So you would assume he would leave. So now you rebuild top to bottom offense and defense. That's tough.
Yeah, and by the way, it's tough for Sam Howell. He lost 4 guys, 4 weapons in the offseason last year to the NFL, and it was always, where's this guy going to make the plays aside from his legs? He needs some help. Did not see that, of course, today as Carolina loses, and, that is North Carolina. South Carolina celebrating, and that bath of Mayo coming your way. I promise you. Trust me.
You're really enamored with this Mayo.
Letting everybody know that you're going to talk about it. Let's deliver it at the end, right? As we get ready for the semifinal games tomorrow on ESPN starting at 3:30 Eastern in Arlington, Alabama in Cincinnati, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, the nightcap right behind us at the Hard Rock Stadium, of course. Michigan and Georgia, the Capital One Orange Bowl, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Let's go to AT&T Stadium, of course, outside. And it's not as humid, not as hot as it is here. Let's just say that in Arlington, Texas, as they get ready for Alabama and Cincinnati. First experience for Cincinnati in the playoff. Alabama, they've been here before. 5-1 in playoff semifinals. And the headline, of course, is Bryce Young. On the other side, they've got studs. And that defense, top 10 across the board when you look at yards per game, sacks. How about that? Yards allowed, rushing attempts, 2.5, led by one of the best players in the country, a guy who finished in the top 5 in the Heisman, and that is Will Anderson.
If Will Anderson gets a one-on-one, it's over.
Will Anderson is as good as you're going to find. He's elite.
I'm a headhunter. I love to hit QBs.
Hammered, and that's that man Anderson.
His first step is like no other. It's like lightning, man. Kind of scary. I didn't even know it was like that.
Pressure, and he goes down. Will Anderson.
Everybody calls him the Terminator.
Terminator mode activated.
I just go out there and destroy people, and I just wreak havoc. I'm just wherever the ball is.
And driven down again by a completely menacing Will Anderson.
Probably my favorite play was the LSU play, when I hit the running back. I wasn't expecting to come that free and hit him like that.
He's too quick off the ball. You can't block this guy one-on-one.
You look at his stat line, you watch his film, he's definitely one of the best players in college football.
No doubt, the Heisman is a quarterback award when you look at the trends that we've seen over the last decade and a half. Will Anderson getting 31 first-place votes, the third highest. When you watch this guy on the field, you've got to know where he's at, and also you've got to figure out how we're going to protect the quarterback here. What does he bring to the table when he leads this defense?
He's that guy on the defensive side that you have to worry about. When you're setting up for Alabama and you're getting ready to play this team, you got to worry about where Will Anderson is. So that will affect, does your running back get out into the pass route? Does your tight end get out into the pass route? And when you decide to run the ball, do you have to double team him? Do you have to go somewhere else? This unit of defense for Alabama, though, as we talk about them, there are times in this season where they didn't control football games.
Yes.
We looked at second half against Florida. We looked early on against Tennessee, against LSU. There were times where they didn't look like the Alabama defense we expected to see. Will Anderson's always been good, but defensively as a unit, we've seen some cracks in this defense we hadn't seen in past years.
And to your point, I think those cracks come in the secondary because we're not used to seeing Nick Saban's defense give up big plays because they want to stop the run, get you in third down situations where they can either blitz and bring a pressure where they confuse your offensive line, or they allow Will Anderson to go one-on-one. So if you're Cincinnati, here's what you say. I'm going to take Will Anderson away. I'm going to double team, and then I'm going to make your corners on the outside play man-to-man because they've given up big play after big play after big play. If you can isolate these corners in one-on-one situations. So, yeah, that's why this Bama defense doesn't look like a dominant unit because they've given up plays that we don't normally see them give
is
up.
Desmond Ridder good enough to take advantage of that with Pierce and Wiley and the weapons that he has in the passing attack?
I think they're going to have to attack different ways because Cincinnati's offensive line, quite frankly, I don't think they can hold up. So if you're Luke Fickell, the head coach, you can't say we're going to go up and man up. You got to double Will Anderson, but you got to allow Desmond Ridder to be a playmaker. He can't be a statue back there because if he is, they'll kill him, they'll come after him, get him outside, use his athletic ability, and then, yes, he can make some second reaction plays, some improvisational type plays.
Yeah, Desmond Ridder had 306 yards rushing this season.
Yes.
And it's going to take that in this game. Jerome Ford, 1,400 yards running back. They're going to have to be physical up front. You have to set a tone and be willing to not feel like you have to score every possession. You get into these kind of games against a team like Alabama, and you don't want to come in and have a different mindset than you've had all season long. Stay within yourself. Do what you do. Be a physical football team. Try to run the football, and Desmond Ridder take care of the ball. Now, in their biggest games of the season, against Notre Dame, against SMU, against Houston in the AAC championship game, Ridder had 0 interceptions in those games. Do that. Take care of the football, and run the football and be physical.
When you look at Ridder and the numbers, though, every quarterback struggles against pressure to a certain extent. Right. I mean, it drops from 70% to 44% completion percentage. The QBR drops from 87 to 8 when he's feeling the pressure.
Well, that's all quarterbacks. These quarterbacks are soft. They don't want to get hit anyway.
I was going to say, you could say any quarterback.
Yes, but that's a huge drop off there. 87 QBR to 8 when you're feeling the pressure?
Correct. So take him away from that early. Don't put him back there. Get him on the edge. Get the ball out of his hands. The game of college football now is players in space. So you want to spread the formation out. We don't want to be in 2 and 3 tight ends. If you're Cincinnati, we want to be in 3, 4 wide receivers and make Alabama run sideline to sideline and tackle in space. That's what A&M did. That's what Auburn did. That's what LSU did. And every now and then you can get this Alabama defense to miss some tackles.
All right, when the winning coach celebrates a bowl victory, we've seen some unique things recently. Cheez-Its last night with Dabo, French fries.
It sounds like it's Mayo time.
Can't wait for this. 4.5 gallons and Shane Beamer celebrate. Oh, watch his head. Oh, that is like green slime from Nickelodeon, right? Like the consistency. They did add water.
Now, here's the thing I want to say. If you would look at the gel that goes in Kev's hair, it's clear, but it's very similar.
We did the same thing to Kev.
It's very similar.
Before we came out, we had to do the same thing to Kev to get his hair slicked back.
Well done.
But Kev didn't have a hat on.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference. And plus, my hair's shinier. You know that.
A little more gray too.
It's clear though.
Oh yeah, a little more gray working with you, no doubt. The last couple of days, a lot more popping up than usual, no doubt about it. Congrats again to South Carolina. Again, 4.5 gallons of Mayo dumped on Shane Beamer, and that is his celebration. The most important thing, though, it's the consistency. You saw some water that they had in there because, it would be tough to dump all that.
Are you about to start breaking down the Mayo?
Yeah, I thought we were moving on.
Is that where we are?
Let's
gotta go.
Let's move on. Gotta go, and let's take a closer look here at this matchup that we're going to have behind us in the Capital One Orange Bowl tomorrow night on ESPN, featuring Georgia and Michigan. Now, we talked about this in the previous show that we just did when the Georgia running backs standing out. It's hard to ignore the 2 biggest stars on the offensive side here for Michigan, and that is the backfield of Haskins and Corum. That 1-2 thunder and lightning punch has been fantastic. Haskins, especially the last 3 games, 9 touchdowns in the last 3 games. When you look at 25 and what he can do in moving the ball down the field, what must he execute tomorrow?
I think it starts up front with that offensive line. It's been outstanding. If you watch him against Ohio State, look at the space. I always say if you don't make a running back make at least 1 cut in the backfield, let him get to your second level, full speed, these guys will hurt you. Corum came back for the Ohio State game. He missed a couple games, or he would also be a 1,000-yard running back. So he missed those games, but he's back healthy. And if they get this run game going with these 2 running backs, you can tell the confidence rises in this football team. You've seen it against Ohio State. Josh Gaddis, when they get their run game going, then opens up that playbook for Cade McNamara, and they're a tough offense to stop.
Here's the thing I love about this run game. It's a very patient run game. Like, they don't go away from the run game if they only get, 20 or 30 yards in the first quarter. Yeah. It's a downhill running game, and they have to be patient in this game. This can't be a run game where they're going to go inside and try to bounce it outside like a Barry Sanders looking for the home run. You got to be willing to stick your nose in there and get to 2, 3, 4 yards. Realizing this, that late in the third, early fourth quarters, those 3 and 4 yard runs, now they become 7 and 8. And at that point, hopefully, you're still in the ball game with this Georgia team.
Offensive line's been fantastic, recognized as the best unit.
Best in the country.
In the country. Good enough, though, against that defensive front for Georgia?
Before the SEC championship game, I'd have said no.
Yeah.
But now we've seen that Georgia defense look ordinary.
Okay.
Somebody took advantage of them. A physical football team went and took advantage of that Georgia defensive line. There is not a more physical football team on the offensive side than Michigan, with 2 running backs going for 1,000 yards. And the way they did it, they like to go between tackles, but they're more than willing to go outside the tackles. And when you can do that, it keeps a defensive lineman like yourself off balance when you don't know what's coming from.
So is that a yes to the question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm just making sure.
Long-winded answer to say
we got
yes.
plenty of time before the next game.
No, we got to go. We got to go. And what's coming up next is Jim Harbaugh, one-on-one with Marty Smith.
Coach Harbaugh, first, let's get to some news. What is Daxton Hill's availability and status for the Orange Bowl?
Questionable. Not ruled out. He's working through something right now, and we'll know more of a game-time decision.
Game-time decision, okay. Is he here in Miami today?
Like I said, it'll be a game-time situation. He might be.
Might be, okay. As you look at this game and you've studied Georgia, all of us say, hey, this is a game in the trenches. This is strength versus strength. Mm-hmm. What do you see as you study how this game might unfold?
To your point, I mean, a lot of times the playoff games, the big games come down to the short yardage situations in the trenches. And Georgia's really strong offensive line, defensive line. They're a strong team all across the board.
From your perspective, what has to happen for you guys to be successful on Friday?
You know, the thing I'm most want to see is our guys giving it their very best. And we'll make it about that. Make it about us, how we play. And guys have prepared well. Energy's up. We've had really good days, and now it's time to go play the game.
Appreciate it. Thank you for your time, Coach.
Thanks, Marty.
Love the cat and mouse between Jim and Marty right there in the conversation. And he talked about just, I want to see how our guys show up here tomorrow night.
And before we even get to that, I want to give a shout-out to the Michigan administration because you and I have talked all along. They had an opportunity in the offseason to make a head coaching change. They didn't do it. Now, Coach Harbaugh changed some of his assistants, but they stayed with him, and he has rewarded this team with a college football playoff spot. More athletic directors, more administrations need to do that. Be a little patient. And because you were patient with him, now his philosophy, they have an identity this year. They run the football. And I think he's a better coach for having to go through some of those
Coming
things.
from LSU.
Well, listen, and by the way, he also took a major pay cut as well. And at the same time, he asked the question, Ward Manuel asked, who's better? If you want me to get rid of Jim Harbaugh, find me somebody better here. And what we're trying to do at Michigan. And back to what you just said, changing the staff. Josh Gaddis, phenomenal on the offensive side. Mike McDonald's done amazing things as a 34-year-old defensive coordinator for the first time.
Yeah, and Josh Gaddis has been there for a few years now, and it almost was like he reinvented himself in this season. Some of the things they did, the flea flickers, the reverses, the offense looked completely different. That happens when you have a physical offensive line and you can run the football. It opens up the playbook for offensive coordinators.
Okay, much more, of course, we're going to talk about this at halftimes of the bowl games on the schedule later on today on ESPN. We'll continue to peel the onion. Hendon Hooker and Tennessee. He's been really consistent and good. Who do you like in this game, Tennessee and Purdue?
Whichever quarterback comes out the most accurate. Two very, very prolific passing offenses. I'm going to lean toward Smokey.
You sounded real confident in that. I'm going to lean toward Tennessee.
Okay. Tennessee, all right.
I'm going to lean that way.
Karlaftis, David Bell not playing in this game, opting out. So Velus Jones, can Tennessee have some playmakers out on the field?
What are they dumping the winning coach with here? Do we know?
It will not be Mayo.
Okay,
maybe some of the gel you guys
hair gel.
About.
Let's go.
We ran out. Enjoy. We'll see you at the half.
You're watching Capital One Bowl Mania.
You're watching the Trans-Perfect Music City Bowl as part of Capital One Bowl Mania. From the banks of the Cumberland River in Nashville, Tennessee, it's the SEC versus the Big Ten. Two teams having fantastic seasons. Tennessee looking for win number 8. Purdue looking for its 9th win of the season after a 6-3 run through the Big Ten. Fair to say both teams exceeding their expectations through the regular season, and each program trying to cap it with a key win in this bowl season. Tennessee Volunteers in their first season under head coach Josh Heupel. They weren't expected to be this good. Quite frankly, they lost about 30 players to the transfer portal before the season began. They've taken advantage of those who are here to play. Here come the Tennessee Volunteers led by Smokey. Jeff Brom and his Purdue Boilermakers having a historic season with a pair of wins against top 5 foes. They come in a little bit undermanned in terms of personnel, but they have played likely better than their talent all season long. Led by a former walk-on quarterback, Aiden O'Connell, this Purdue team is playing without 2 of its future NFL stars today. It's a next man up philosophy for the Boilermakers. Finished second in their division in the Big Ten. Boilermakers like to get creative on offense. We'll see what Coach Brom has dialed up. He looks no nonsense, but he is an offensive-minded head coach that likes to get creative, and you can bet we'll see some of that today for Purdue. And here come the Boilermakers. Crowd on hand for this sellout in one of the nation's best sports cities, Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome, everybody. Tom Hart alongside Jordan Rogers and Cole Kublik. What a fantastic atmosphere here in Nashville this weekend. Jordan, you played in this bowl. This is different. It has a feeling of almost an on-campus game.
Absolutely. Played in this bowl. I tell you, it was not this loud. A short drive for these Tennessee fans. Same for Purdue. It is packed. Expect some fireworks.
Cole, a couple of programs that want to be here and want to finish the win.
I don't think there's any doubt. The excitement from Tennessee fans, this football team, they wanted to be here, wanted to compete, Tom. And you guys mentioned it just a little bit. Purdue down numbers at multiple positions, but Coach Brom was not going to let this football team sit out.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a moment, but let's start with Tennessee, one of the nation's most prolific offenses. Josh Heupel brought that with them from UCF. They score points in bunches, and they run a lot of plays.
Yeah, fast is an understatement. Faster than these fans of the winning team are going to pour out of here over to Tootsie's Orchid Lounge or the stage on Broadway. It's the fastest team in all of college football. Explosive on offense and led by a quarterback that is also one of the most efficient in the entire country. It's a perfect marriage that Josh Heupel has here at Tennessee.
Hendon Hooker doing a great job, but Cole, it's not just through the air that Tennessee succeeds.
Tom, it's a little bit of a misconception, this Tennessee offense. A lot of folks see it and they think, oh, they just throw the football all around because they run a lot of 4 and 5 wide receiver sets. Hendon Hooker only has one 300-yard passing game, but this is a team that can be ground and pound when they need to. In their 7 wins, they average over 274 rushing yards per game. In the 5 losses, just 125 rushing yards per game. And a front 7 that's down a couple of players today for Purdue. I would think this Tennessee Volunteer football team wants to play ground and pound early.
Now we'll see what happens with that, but what's your key when Tennessee has the ball?
Yeah, if you're a fan of either of these teams or have a vested monetary interest, here's the matchup to watch. It's the pressure that Purdue can get on Hendon Hooker. If there is an advantage, it's Tennessee and their receivers on a depleted secondary for Purdue. Brad Lambert, the defense coordinator, said, hey, we might be dialing up blitzes all over the place. Cover 0, expected to be high risk, high reward for Purdue.
One of these two bands will be playing often in this one. Let's talk about Purdue for a moment. The historic season brought some real highs to West Lafayette. The home win against Michigan State, the win on the road against Iowa, first time since 1960, a pair of top 5 wins. So you think about it, it's fair to say that they might be a little bit ahead of schedule with a quarterback that came in as a walk-on.
Unbelievable. This quarterback, you would think a walk-on, a former walk-on in big moments, maybe it would be too much. Nothing has been too much for Aiden O'Connell. He is the hottest quarterback in the country. Look at the stats. Argue with me if you want to, but there's nobody playing better football right now than Aiden O'Connell, and he's the reason Purdue had those upsets and the reason this one will be interesting today.
Tennessee won the toss. They elected to defer, so Purdue will receive. Jackson Anthrop in his 6th year at Purdue back to receive the kickoff. Toby Wilson will get us started in Nashville. Anthrop takes the fair catch at the 2. And so here's a look at Aiden O'Connell, 5th-year senior from Long Grove, Illinois. He burbled to Division III Wheaton College. Got an opportunity to walk on for Jeff Brom at Purdue, and he told us yesterday when he first got here, he was the 8th quarterback out of 9 on the depth chart. Now he's the most efficient passer in the Big Ten, and he's got a pair of top 5 wins to his name.
Yeah, and this is an offense that is predicated on the short, quick passing game. Expect ball control. Expect a lot of quick, easy throws to get Aiden O'Connell comfortable early in this game.
Now, they're without their All-American wide receiver, David Bell. He's opted out of this one. They're also down some other key players offensively. O'Connell will throw on first down, and he completes it to the edge for a pickup of 7. Some guys who haven't played much going to have to step up. Brock Thompson, who's battling a pair of knee injuries, picks up his 24th catch of the season.
And just a nice little RPO, a run-pass option to start the game. That's where Purdue is going to live. They want to make sure they have numbers for the run. If they don't, it's a quick pass from their star quarterback that's deadly accurate in the quick game.
Jackson Anthrop was in the backfield. We'll see him at tailback some, but primarily a slot. And that pass is incomplete and will leave 3rd and 3. This is a Purdue offense under Jeff Brom that has set the school record for completions, 382 now. That bests the numbers from 98 when a guy by the name of Drew Brees was their quarterback. 2nd in the Big Ten in passing yards, 6th in total yards.
And no David Bell, their all-star receiver, no Milton Wright, so they're out there top 2. If there's a go-to guy, it's number 30 Jackson Anthrop, lined up right here in the backfield.
He'll motion. They'll try to get him against the linebacker. 3rd down 3. It's Loud in Nashville. Incomplete. ACC Crow. There's a flag. And Purdue will pick up the first down. Jerry Magallanes, or white hat.
Defense number 33. Spot foul. First down.
It's actually really good coverage on the back end for Tennessee. Nowhere to go with the football for O'Connell. Late throw there. It's just a little too much on the jersey from the Bruza there. Left hand got a little bit of the jersey. And the refs, although it took a minute, easy call.
I feel like given Tennessee's offensive explosiveness, they lead the nation in scoring in the first quarter. This opening drive is key for Purdue. Tennessee averages 14 points in the first quarter. Purdue not nearly as efficient. That one is batted away and nearly picked. Incomplete. Great coverage on the back end by Trevon Flowers.
Really good protection that time for Aiden O'Connell. Had all day to try to find a receiver. And this ball just a little too high and on the back shoulder of TJ Sheffield.
Oh, I think Flowers got it.
This is going to be a great look at it right here. Oh, yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Nope. So close.
This is an opportunistic Tennessee defense. They love to bring pressure under defensive coordinator Tim Banks.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. The previous play is under further review.
They're going to review. This one won't take long. I can't get over the crowd and the atmosphere here. I mean, Purdue showed up. There's obviously a lot of orange in the stadium just 3 hours away from campus. Ball obviously hit the ground before Flowers controlled it.
It is loud. I think both teams will be operating on a silent cadence today, especially on 3rd downs.
You just don't get that in bowl games.
No. But like I said, short drive, 3.5 hours or so to Knoxville. I think 5 or so for the Purdue fans. Someone said walking on the streets the other day.
So the Purdue faithful have shown up, and they're shown up to watch a team that's missing 2 key components who have opted out for this game. On the offensive side, David Bell, the only Purdue wide receiver in history, consensus All-American, second.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed.
In school
Second
history
down.
in receiving yards. George Karlaftis will be a first-round pick in this summer's draft. They both opted out. Other injuries and other reasons. Tackle Greg Long is out. Milton Wright, the next best receiver, is out. And they've had to shuffle a lot of guys around in the secondary. We'll get to that when Tennessee gets the ball. Anthrop in motion. Here's Horvath. And he bruises his way forward. The 230-pound fullback picks up 9. Cole, that's a dude